Good afternoon, everybody. I'm doing another, like the Mad Professor, I've been experimenting for weeks. As you've known, lots of other videos. I'm going through all the tests on all the different making up of pouring mediums and testing different paints, and yeah, just trying to find the ultimate, I suppose, but more than anything is what works best for an individual. So what I've been doing, I've had these Montmartre, these are new out of the Montmartre, and what I'm trying to, and hopefully that the Montmartre is really the in thing, because they are available in the UK and Europe, and certainly American can get even the Montmartre a lot more reasonable price than us, and the colours are really vibrant and they work really well so far with my Helmar's glue and water, which you can get in the US, not so good here, but I have tried them, just the Montmartre studio acrylics with other PVAs, and they're coming out quite well. But at the moment I'm trying these acrylic pouring paint premium. They're pre-mixed, so one of these 250 mils is about $7.95, which is actually it's 240 milliliters, about $7.95. But I'm on my third painting with them. I mean, I'm only using 20 by 25 canvases, smaller canvases. This one's 20 by 20. But yeah, I'm testing them and seeing what you guys think. I mean, it's up to you, as it is with all of my tests on lots of different products that I've used. It's whether it suits an individual. So these are pre-made paints by Montmartre. You don't have to add anything to them, you just do your pours. So the previous one I thought turned out really nice. So I've just put all my colours again in the cups. I'll lift them up in a minute, but this time as I've added the Montmartre silicone oil. So because I've only got smaller cups, I've added it to the rest of the colours, and this is just the last one. So I'm only going to add two or three drops. I'll go 3 drops. And I just want to see if I get a different result than I did yesterday. So that's the Montmartre Silica. My supplier in Australia is a local family-run business that sell a lot of the products that I use. And they're in the drop-down box. I've got the supplier and the link to their website. So really reasonable. They also sell lots of these little canvases. I'm not quite sure how big they go. The Montmartre canvases, really good little canvases, and really probably the cheapest price that I have found for canvases, being an online. So, and it's really good. Okay, so the colours I'm using for this other little test pour with the silicone is the cadmium red, the turquoise, I'm using black, I'm using white, and I'm using this absolutely gorgeous gold, which I love. The gold, very shiny, and the silver, and I've pre-mixed them all up, and I've put the silicone in them. Put the silicone in them all. I've stirred them really well, and I'm going to do another little flip cup and see what the difference is to what I did yesterday with no silicone in. The only difference I won't do those little cups. I'll just do one flip cup, just exactly as I did yesterday, a flip cup. So I've used all those lovely paints, and now I've used the silicone. It's all ready to go. So what I'm thinking is I might load this up different than I did yesterday. Now, my little trick for not getting paints muddy, because I've had lots of people writing to me that they're getting muddy paints, and I've said it before, but I'll say it again, is if you're less likely to get muddy paints if you run your paint down the side of the cup. So that's the red. So it's just running the paints down the side of the cup. less likely to muddy. So these paints for pre-made paints are more the thickness that you would normally pour with. And I've found before when I've used pre-made paints, giving them a test, they were so runny and just really difficult to work with that I didn't enjoy using them. So these are really reasonable priced and they're really nice and thick quality. So I'm just doing the test for you and letting you use your own opinion to whether you would use them or not. But I did have a really fantastic thought myself last night that what these are going to be useful to me for is we're going away in a caravan. We've got a caravan and we go away every now and again, and I absolutely hang out to paint, but of course I can't take all my gear in a caravan. But what I thought is I can take these particular paints because I haven't got to do anything. I haven't got to take my glues and water. So I could take these paints and a small canvas and just my little table outside and still do my videos while we're traveling, and even then show you parts of Australia that we're traveling to. So if you think it's a crazy idea, let me know, and if you think it's a good idea, please let me know as well. Would you like to see while we're traveling? So I'll be traveling and painting, so that sounds like the life. But I just thought these paints would be ideal for me to do that with. Okay, rabbiting on. I just had that thought last night. I thought, oh my God, I can use those paints on my travels. So that's really good. Or if you haven't got a lot of room at home, because this is all it really takes, is this, to have a little bit of an area. Okay, I've loaded them all up, if you've seen, down the side of the cup. So hopefully they don't muddy, and we'll see what results we get without the silicone with the silicone in, as opposed to yesterday had no silicone. So do the flippy cup again, and I'm just going to leave it for a second or two to do its thing. And while I'm doing that, I'll have some of my other cells, my coffee cells. Which is cold. Ugh, don't like it when it's cold. I'm just going to put a pin in the side of this, see if it makes any in the side of the cup. No, my cup's too flimsy. So I will just burp this out. Oh, look at that. Oh, that is such a gorgeous, look at that. I know somebody, lovely lady, tried to explain how you say it. Cadmium red. It's lovely, really lovely. Look at that. So this is with silicone, as opposed to yesterday I did the without silicone. Look at the gold, that's so lovely, that gold. I'm just thinking of all the places I could use the gold in with the other Montmartres that I use. So yes, you can get this in America, I'm told, and you can get it in the UK and Europe. So Montmartre is worldwide, I'm told. I'm not sure if in countries, I think I've got a South African lady, and in Europe I'm not 100% sure, but I would, it would be a lot easier to get than what the paints that have been used in the Australian brand of look at that, of Global. I'm going to leave that a second or two, see what you think. That's with the silicone. Remember, I did put silver, so it looks as though it's gone a lot of grey here, but I did put silver in with it. So I'm going to just leave it a second. I'm going to take a photo and then I'm going to torch it, see how it reacts with the torch on it. Where's my Just taking a photo with my phone. I just like to take the photos of the stages. Okay, can't get into my phone. Gloves on. Okay, here we go. So I'll just take the photo of that. Come on, phone. And then I'll give it move everything out of the way so I don't set anything alight with my torch. As I've told you all before, please make sure you have a fire extinguisher handy if you're using a torch. Quite nice in the bottom of the cup there. Okay, there's gold that's come through. Pretty. I am just going to wave my flame over it. Yep, wave my flame over it, see what I can bring up, if anything. And then you can be the judge and jury on this one. Okay. That's some gold coming through on the black there, that's interesting, and the gold coming through the silver, that's a lot of silver sitting there. So I might give it a run around, see how we go. Let's just pour what I have left in the cup off. Oops. It's quite nice and thick. I didn't think it would be so thick and have as much body as it has got, must admit. I am wondering what it would even do mixed with a bit of the Montmartre glue, because it is a little on the thick side. So there you go. That is with the Montmartre Silicone. I like it. It's just given a completely different look to what I would normally produce, but then again it may be the method, because I've used a flip cup. So I might do a quick little ring pour for you and tag it on the end of this. So I'll just prepare to do a little ring pour and see what it comes out doing a ring pour, if I can get a nice ring pour out of it too. Okay, back to doing a ring pour with the leftover paint that I've just used from the Montmartre premix. So I'll get 6 of these little MDF rounds from Kmart in Australia, and you can make your little cup mats, placemats, whatever you call them. I can't think of the name. Coasters. So I think you get 6 for like less than $5. So really good, and then you could resin them after. But anyway, I'm going to give these little leftover paints a burl. So I said I'd put it on it, take it on the end of the. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a ring pour on these, just with the leftovers. So it was another test for you to see what you thought of these pre-made pouring paints. Like I said, great for people with a small place, living in a flat. You can just you haven't got to have all the glues and the mixing gear, because they're all pre-done. So you've only just got to play with the paint. So very good for some. I'm going to put the gold and silver together. I normally would run this down the side of the cup, but there's so little left in each. I'll just put it in. This is going to be a ring pour just to see how it reacts, this particular paint, to doing a ring pour. Okay, I'm going to run this down the side of the cups now. the white. I will go the turquoise. Maybe can scrape those out. This gorgeous, gorgeous red, so vibrant, absolutely gorgeous. Okay, just scrape the rest of these paints out. Waste not, want not, so my father used to say. Yeah, all these experiments been time consuming but fun, and I'm continually experimenting. That's what I tell people. It's the only true way to find what works best for you, is just keep experimenting. I'm going to pour this down the other side, the black. This black usually takes over a lot, but I will scrape what I've got left out because it's only a little bit in here. So it'll be interesting to see how this reacts to a ring pour. Go my last little bit of turquoise. Oh, I can't believe it. Had no dogs barking, no husbands walking in. It's quite unusual for my videos, isn't it? Oops. Oh, maybe tip that all over myself, but nothing new. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. Not one for standing on the sidelines waiting for something to appear. I've got to go try it myself. So okay, there's not that much paint in here, but I've only got these 3 tiny little coasters to do. So I'm going to try and do a ring pour. Whether I'll go from one to the other is another. I'm going to take it high, so I might only get a bit of colour on each of them. Ooh. Remember, this was the one with the silicone in it. Ooh. Okay, I'll go to the next. Did this particular test with silicone in the paints. The Montmartre pre-made with the Montmartre silicone in. Yeah. Oh, there's my gold. That's so goldy gold. Goldy gold. So little ring pours in each. Right, go back to the first one. Put some of the gold in it now. Oh, look at that. It's very pretty, very pretty. Stop again and go back to this one. Like I said, it's quite firm textured for a pre-made paint, so I'm just wondering if I add some of the pouring medium with the PVA glue of the Montmartre plus water to actually water it down a bit, because it's made quite thickly. So I will do another test on another day with that. Oh, okay, so we'll just give them a gentle spin around the block. Take it off a bit over the edges, because there's plenty on there by the looks. Just gently giving it a spin around. Or that gold coming through, actually, if it had a heat-proof resin coat on at the end of it too, that gold would shine through really, really nicely. Keep going and seeing, because it's developing. As I can see, it's developing all the time. Probably I would, from my findings from doing the two, one with resin and one without, I find the one without resin, not resin, sorry, with silicone, I find I like the look of the one without the silicone in this paint, because it seemed to, oh, that's nice, look at that. Oof. Oh my goodness, I don't like the middle bit, but That was me doing a rough ending. Oh gosh, that's gorgeous. That is gorgeous. See, oh, okay. Oh, that's very exciting because that is gorgeous. So maybe I need to tilt it off a bit more. And not leave it so thick as I've been doing. See, they're all trial and errors with these products. Oh my goodness, that is actually coming. These would be really nice on my MDF placemats. And somebody's saying that you haven't got Kmart in the US, that it was bought out by Walmart, or I would have thought your Walmart would have had the same kind of things as Kmart did. Oh my goodness, these are coming up just beautiful. I'm going to pour some more paint off this one now and see if I can get that nice look on this one too. Yeah, so I would have thought you could get the MDF rounds, but I know that lots of the big hardware, they'll cut you like, or you can buy a big MDF round. I don't know how many mils thick these are. I'll measure them, and then if you're handy with a hole saw, you could hole saw a whole load of, you know, placemat size and coaster sizes out of an MDF sheet. So you could actually get lots of oh, those, oh my goodness, those are just gorgeous. You see, have I got it in the right place for you to see? That's just beautiful. Look at that one. I'll put some photos on with at the end of this video so you can see what they dry like and if they've altered. But I am really loving the ring pour for this particular paint. That has come, that's really nice. I like it. I really like that. So that was your Montmartre pre-made pouring paint with a bit of silicone in a ring pour. Now I have to, wow, I like that. That's great. I'll give you a close-up, and as I said, I will put some photos on at the end of the YouTube video to show you what they've dried like. Oh, look at that. Wowee, I say, wowee. Look at that. So pretty. Really nice for coasters. So I'm going to just find a heat-proof resin or sealer, and then they'll be great. I mean, they're great to give as gifts. Christmas coming up. Great to give us gifts. Okay, thanks very much for joining me again on another experiment, and I'm giving you, you know, you thought, if you could give me your thoughts, whether you thought it's good, bad, you know, just interesting to see what different people think, but probably best try it yourself. So if you're in Australia, there's an Australian supplier where they're really reasonably priced, under $8, and the Montmartre paints, Montmartre Silicone. If they haven't got things in stock, Diane and Anthony will take your name and email and let you know when they do come in stock. So I just love family businesses that are willing to go that extra mile and help you, and that's what Diane and Anthony will do for you. So thanks very much for joining me. Thanks so much for subscribing to my YouTube channel and popping over to my Acrylic Art by Jilly Cube on Facebook. You can see lots of my other work on there and tips and tricks, all the videos. Yeah, thank you.